What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Journey Podcast. I'm your host, Rencher, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for support. Thank you for locking in. And today, got my favorite guest, special guest, joined by my wife, Makenzie Rencher.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, this is the middle of like nap time, so we kind of making this thing happen.
Welcome to our sunroom.
Yeah, this the sunroom. Honestly, one of the favorite parts of our house. Like,
Same, and we also do not spend enough time in here.
I know.
It's because Beckham really likes to play in our living room, which is like a step away, and so she has her little kitchen set up in here, her little Christmas tree in here. Other than that, we're in the living room.
I know, but this room is a vibe. Like, it really is. It's supposed to be like a prayer room / whatever. But here we are, and we just want to talk. Like, I think today my mind's around just update on where we are in life, and then let's get into some takes. We just had our second baby.
We did. Wait, when's the last time people saw you?
I think people saw me, but I just want to talk about it. Like, people.
No, I mean, like, when's the last time people, I guess, saw us together?
Oh, like
on the Journey podcast. It was like when Beckham just was born.
And
now we just had another.
I know. Wow. That's why we're trying to get these things out more frequently too. But yeah, that was like literally when Beckham was born, and now we have baby number 2. Beckham's about to turn 2. There's just a lot going on, but a lot of blessings. Both of our kids were literally God ordained.
Truly God ordained.
Yeah.
Our first one, honeymoon baby, we all know. You've heard it enough. And our second, one and done. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to go into details, but we felt like the Lord was like, have a baby. Took one time, which is such a blessing.
I know.
Such a blessing.
It is crazy. I do want to tell a story, but it's almost like people who are believers will understand, but then people who aren't, which is part of like
which is fine,
reason of having faith, aren't gonna really get it. Because like when I tell you, I wanted to wait until Beckham was 2 years old to even start trying again. And
one.
No, I wanted to try when she was
1. Not now. She would have been. Remember, we wanted them to be like.
Oh, we wanted to be 2 years apart.
Yeah.
So we would have tried really like when she was
after her first.
Yeah, after her first birthday. Wow, this has happened so fast. I'm like, yeah, I guess this is the time.
Know.
Yeah. All right, backtrack. So we prayed about it, and I just feel like I was like, if I can have my way with this one, I want to try once Beckham turned 1. And then, as God does, we have our plans, but then he literally was just like, gave both of us a conviction one night, and literally he was like, try. And I'm like, I do not want to, like, my first one, I'm thankful, surprise. This one, I'm like, God, I want that to be like what I want. But literally, it's clear as day, weird, awkward, mysterious, faith-filled moment. Like, I just felt my heart was pounding, and I was like, we both kind of, well, you wanted to try. You were like,
well, only because I felt like I just felt like the Lord was like, it's time.
Yeah.
Which it was earlier than what we were like, we're going to try in, I think it was like March or something. And they would have been exactly 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I just like that age
gap. It was time. And now it makes sense. I'm just like,
it makes so much sense.
He's a September baby.
Yeah.
The difference between them, like, I don't know. It just is like,
no, it definitely is like perfect timing, like God's timing. But that's part of it too. I think sometimes, a lot of times we all have our plan, but then God will just be like, all right, just trust me on this. And we literally trusted. And both times, I kid you not, we are 2 for 2 on like
one and done.
Yeah, one and done.
Like, also, he is like I just have to say this, most perfect baby. He is such a good sleeper. Beckham was not.
Yeah, we had some trial and error with Beckham. She's amazing.
We did.
Love her.
Love her. She's everything and more.
But we just didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know what we didn't know. And he's such a good sleeper. He just comes everywhere with us. He's just down for the ride.
He'd be chilling. And it's been cool to see God really put his hand over just the whole season of life. Like, a bunch of our friends having babies at the same time. And it just feels right. Like, him being here, I can imagine him not being here. No, and then at the time, obviously, we plant the seed. You don't know it's going to be a boy. And how everything has
planted the seed is like such a crazy thing to say.
It's not that crazy. But yeah, I know it's going to be a boy. Like, him being a boy has been like, oh, that was just, for me as a dad, you always dream about having like your like father-son relationship. And I'm like, when I figured he was a boy, I was like, that was amazing. So now we got 1 and 1. We could be done for real. But at the same time, like
We're not.
now, the third one is just a blind swing. Like I have no thoughts,
Care.
prayers. Lord, have which you already have, but have your way.
Yeah, I definitely don't care if it's a boy or girl. I have like no bias.
Yeah,
I I don't know. We'll see.
we'll see.
I don't even want to talk about this because if I get pregnant, I will freak out. So let's move on.
Yeah, let's
I'm not manifesting this.
not at all. But let's talk about really one of the things that we joke about a lot, but just and we've had our own experience of it is when people say kids will ruin your life because or it's almost the negativity that comes with like people having kids and they like suck the fun out of it. That's the same thing with marriage too,
Yeah.
but like definitely with kids, they're like, well, now that you have kids,
Even if it's not that negative, like that's so far, right? I guess, but even if it's just little subtle comments of like, have fun doing that now because you're not gonna be able to do that when this happens or when they hit this age or whatever. I feel like there's little snarky negative comments too, like
yeah,
more than I don't know the crazy negative stuff. But
right.
especially before we had kids and got married, people would say stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, do we not enjoy our kids? I'm
And we're not
confused.
enjoying our lives. But I will say, it's definitely not. Also, we would never downplay like parenting is challenging. You know, like it does come with like like a different level of responsibilities. There are some things you obviously can't do that you could do before you having kids. But to me, it has made life like all the more like full.
Totally.
You know, like seeing your
Side note, I can barely hear right now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, I have like ringing in my ears. Have you seen the stuff going around or like the memes of the reason why all of us have hearing problems is those skull headphones?
I have school
We
headphones.
have to insert a picture. The skull headphones that were like $25, but like they got so
I remember
loud.
I never got a pair. I was a
Maybe that's why you hear better than
I
me.
got fake beats from China.
Wait, I have a fake beat story. Should I tell it?
Not really. I
Whatever.
think the best piece of advice that I remember was somebody saying like, I'll make sure I get this right. Your kids should be a part of your life, not wait. How's it go? You don't.
It wasn't that good of a quote if you can't
No,
remember
it
it.
was. It's
No, you make your kids a part of your life. You don't make your kids your life.
correct.
I ate.
You did. That's it. That's so cool because I really feel that is like the perspective though. Is like either you feel like you're doing everything for your kids, or your kids are like coming along with you for the ride, like trips, adventures. We didn't take this girl on plane rides. We didn't went to like
I'm honestly kind of hard on myself when it comes to that because I feel like I haven't done that. But then I look back and I'm like, no, I definitely have. It's just my life has changed so much that sometimes it doesn't feel like I've done that
yeah,
in a good way. But your life does change inevitably.
for sure.
I think that that's where people start getting negative is because your life changes so much. You might have liked your life before, but it doesn't mean that it's like a bad thing. It's
Right.
just different.
There are some
Different
things you
isn't
have to
bad.
mourn. What do you mourn about? Like, because obviously, like you said,
Oh, multiple things.
no, our first, I wouldn't change a thing now because everything feels like so right. But I do remember like thinking like, okay, even now sometimes I have thoughts like, what do you mourn or you feel like you missed it, like FOMO?
Yeah, I actually just posted an Instagram story about this. I mourn balance.
Mhm.
There's not a ton of balance once you have kids, and it's not again, I don't want anyone taking this as a negative thing, but at night when I lay my head down, I feel like there are areas that like I just did not get to
Yeah,
that I want to throughout the
for
day.
sure.
Like I already posted about this, but like if I was a good mom that day, it feels like I didn't get enough work done. If I got enough work done, it feels like I didn't have time to clean the house. If I clean the house, it means I wasn't a good mom. If I blah 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 blah, you could go on and on and on. I feel like stuff like that, and then also just like the ease of not having to run everything by each other. Like if
Right.
I had a girls' night, it was like I'm going to a girls' night. It wasn't
Yeah, like
like,
see you have a good night.
hey, can I? Yeah, like at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, I have a birthday dinner. Can I do this? Who needs to come and help us? Who's gonna put Casey down? Who's gonna put Beckham down? Like
Yeah.
it's just like the constant of like trying to figure out schedules. I'm more in the ease of just like
Yeah, just pick it up and
dipping
go.
out,
Yeah.
even with one, because like once we got Beckham's schedule down, like if one of us was gone, we always knew the other person would hold
Right.
it down. Now, if one of us is gone, we still have to have either another person.
At this stage, at least.
Yeah, at this stage, we'll it'll get easier. I
Yeah.
know. But just for now, what about you? What do you want?
I think I'm mourn, but even though it's so crazy because I fear that we wouldn't be able to travel. That's my biggest fear. It's like, man, we never gonna go nowhere no more. We literally have traveled more since we had a kid than we ever have. We've been out of the country. We've been around the country because we got a good village. So our moms, listen, this is a PSA to the grandmas. Hey,
Step up.
step up
Step
now.
up.
Look here. Y'all didn't had kids. I know y'all live y'all's own life, because our moms be doing it too. Like, look, it's y'all's time to be empty nesters to go live your life. But look,
You're
hey,
not empty nesters.
the parents of today, we're the new parents. We need y'all. Like,
For
without y'all, we can't do it. Like, we need the grandmas, the granddads, the grandparents to hold it down. And like, look, you get all the blessings of having another kid without the responsibilities. Just come over, you know what I'm saying? Make it fun,
Come
give
over
us a
and
break.
hang.
And like I said, step up.
I love the grandmas of the world.
No,
And the grandpas.
yeah, and the grandpas. But our
She just only has one.
no, no, she's got my
Dad alert.
Yeah. I'll say our moms, one, it does take a village. Something I swear, like that's even our
I honestly don't know how people do it whenever they live away from family.
I don't either.
Like, truly. I mean, they probably just have to trust people to babysit, but we're like psychopaths and we only trust like 2 people to watch our kid.
Yeah, no pro tip, like people always are like, hey, like up and leave where you're from. But like if you are in a good situation, obviously it needs to be a healthy dynamic. Boundaries for sure. Like it shouldn't be just, like you need some space from people that you grew up with. But like I'm a huge proponent of telling people if you have kids, live near your family. Because that's like built-in help.
For
Like
real.
built-in babysitter, built-in nanny, like everything. Like so, shout out to all the family members. Like it takes not even just family, like friends, because our friends be holding down. Like to me, that's the best part. Seeing like she got so many aunts and uncles that aren't like blood, but like
Love to hang out with her.
our family.
Yeah. I will say, talking about mourning, this just made me think about that. Like, so much has gotten better
Facts.
since having them.
Yeah.
Naming the few things that I've mourned, I'm like thinking about if you were to ask me, like, what's gotten better since motherhood? I could sit here for hours and talk about it.
Right.
Like, everything is better. Waking up is better. Going to sleep is better. I don't know. Like, every little detail, going on walks and seeing her, reindeer,
I know.
ho, ho, ho. Like, everything excites her. Airplane. Like, literally everything excites her, and seeing her joy. Him too, obviously, but he's just rolling around right now, taking naps.
It definitely is more of an adventure. I think you see like what life was really meant to be about with having kids. Like you get when you give so much, you receive so much in return, and like kids remind you of that. Like I think you can obviously learn this lesson without kids, but with kids, you're giving so much. They literally can't do anything for themselves.
The joy is, I mean, just watching the little things that bring her joy.
It's every day. It's like something new. Even just like the purity and innocence of little kids, like that you get to experience when like they are with you every day. Like every day, she's like, and she like it's like the funny thing she remembers every day. Like when she first like learned how to say like "Hey, daddy." Like now every day is like "Hi, daddy."
Hi, Dada.
Hi, Dada. And it's like every day
we were
she's
hugging this morning in the kitchen, and she ran and she like wanted to join our hug and jump around, and just everything is like, ugh.
It's just so much joy. It's like I would say definitely the good when you do it like this way is like definitely outweighs the things you mourn, but it's never it don't discount the things you mourn at the same time. Like they're like real things that I guess you have fears of, like, all right, man, I don't know if I'll be able to. Like I said, even for us, Mary, like, okay, do we want to take trips? Do we want to travel? Can we just go and do this? Most times we are able to, like, thank God, but then sometimes, like, um, sometimes I feel like we just kind of miss out. But I feel like I don't know. I don't think I care as much as I thought I would care. If that makes sense.
We haven't had to miss out on much.
That's what I'm saying, which has been a blessing.
And now all of our friends are starting to have kids, so I'm like,
that's the thing too. Is like
y'all ain't doing nothing without us.
Yeah, we started the trend, and it's been cool to see our friend group. We got some stragglers and like people gonna trickle in, but like it's been cool to see all our friends start to have babies now, that's when it really gets fun.
All our friends is like such a stretch.
Not all our friends, but a good handful of our friends.
Yeah.
Like
more of our friends.
Yeah, everybody's like the season of having babies.
For sure.
This season of life to me, like young adult life, is like when people get married, having kids. It's a sweet season of life.
Definitely.
One thing I want to talk about. One of the bigger things I learned through parenting, or just reminded of, is the importance of who you have a kid with is everything.
Everything.
But it really should be, the order should be who you get married to is everything, insinuating that's who you're going to have kids with. And no shade. Like, to shout out to all the single moms out there, single dads out there too. guardians holding it down. But like if we giving game, ideally you want to be like who you marry is who you have kids with, because that was to me.
At what point in the relationship do you think you start to think about that? Like, do you think you start thinking about that day one? Because we were friends, so I can't really
Yeah,
say.
it depends on like the context. Like I think that ultimately, I feel like the older you get, there's always signs, guys. There's always signs. Like you can tell the energy and the spirit of somebody if they're gonna be like nurturing, or if they're even like how they carry themselves. Because everything matters. Like how you carry yourself is how you gonna take care of a kid. The thoughts, the
You can
thought,
try to turn a blind eye,
yeah, like you can
but
try, but like it really is to me like just the red flags. Like however you see it, wherever you see it as person is gonna be duplicated and multiplied, magnified, and when they have children.
yeah.
And I'm more so saying this because I think that everybody grown, gonna do what you need to do, but it's like you should be very careful of who you lay down with. I'm gonna like just be honest, like because like having a kid, and I've seen it like from friends is especially having a kid like outside the context of like
It's no joke.
of a commitment. Like obviously, I'm some people like just they might have kids and be together, not married, but like I'm really more speaking towards marriage. But having a kid outside of like a real long term commitment, it just makes it's already hard as is. It's hard when you have in the household when you got like a
A
marriage.
stable marriage, two people that
I
love each
can't
other, it's so
imagine
hard.
how hard it is on both. Probably as a kid gets older, but also the parent like to want to be there for your kid.
I feel like people just genuinely do not understand that you are locked in for life.
Yeah, no, like
Like, for life.
I
And
I felt people get deceived. Like it's obviously in those moments you ain't thinking too much with you know what I'm saying logic. You thinking with passion, emotion, but logically, I'm telling you like beware of the fact that like you risking having a kid with somebody can change your whole life. And I think it should be more of like a vision for if you want to have a family. Like just be careful, guys. I'm just
be careful, y'all. Especially because, like, if you break up, normally you're like, oh,
right,
never have to see you again, never have to talk to you again.
right.
I'm gonna sit with my girlies and spill all their tea.
Yeah, but then once you have a kid about somebody on both sides, like you
Everything
locked in with this girl
changes.
forever, she locked in with you, and it's obviously trying to make the best situation. You know, that's like if you're in a situation, make the best out of it. But like if you were telling your younger brother, younger sister, you would I don't think anybody would advise like, hey, like have a baby with somebody, don't be with them. You would want to be like, hey, hopefully y'all can build something together, and then y'all can have a situation that matters. Because you also see some other thing. I think the flip side, the positive side to that is when you do have a vision for the person you are in love with being the person you have kids with, it just creates like an ultimate teamwork, you know? So I feel like that's what us is like. That's when you've been a great teammate in the sense of we really do we got, we be like, you know what I'm saying? We doing this thing together. Like we really are like kind of left hand, right hand, like going and raising these kids, like growing a family.
And it's definitely teamwork. Like, there's so many days that, like, I have to run out and do stuff, you have to run out and do stuff, and it's all on the other person. And if that other person is not a good partner or teammate, you are just out of luck, buddy.
Yeah. I will say to me, it's been cool too. It's another part. Like I think having kids in the best way, like shows you a different side of like the person you love
For sure.
in like a cool way. I feel like my view of you, like I always knew you'd be a great mom, but then now like seeing you be a mom is like everything.
I agree. I just said that the other day. Like, I feel like watching you be a dad, that was like one of the big reasons I really wanted to marry you was, or I knew I wanted to marry you, was because I just knew you'd be the best dad. And just watching that manifest and also be better than I thought it would be. I don't know, just watching you like at the zoo and how much joy you find in like making Kason smile. Like, if you're making Kason smile, I literally can't talk to you. Like, you're like zoned in
Right.
on him being joyful. You're like, we're having a moment. Um, yeah, it's just special. It brings a different kind of joy and different kind of bond, and sweet.
No, it is
But if you try to play me and I was stuck with you and you're a bad dad, I don't know what I would do. I'd have to get out probably.
not bad. That yeah, that's crazy. When you're dating, I think that should be like one of the pillars, especially as you get older. I think it's different. Like if you start dating in high school,
But what, 3 months in, 6 months in, a year?
no, I think that ultimately, I think everybody should be dating to marry. Now, do I think you go into the first date being like, I'm gonna put a ring on this person's finger? Not necessarily, but I think you should see like, I don't really believe in like person like just like random dating. You know, we've had this conversation. I don't really believe in just, I don't know, just going on random dates. I think you can like
I don't think I agree.
You think you agree with like random dates?
To me, it's not random because you're meeting, like, you have to go on dates. I just feel like you can't even be opinionated on this topic when we were like friends before and you never had to do that.
No, I'm saying, but even if I did, like before we started dating in college, I with girls I was interested in. I'm saying like,
But some people didn't go to college and some people need help and some people need to go
no,
on
I know.
match.com.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm not hating. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm more so saying, all right, extreme examples. If you find somebody on these dating apps,
Some people do get married and have beautiful relationships.
you're right. You're right. Okay, I guess what I'm saying is I'm more of a proponent of there being like some prior like okay, you know this person prior to just going on a date. You just don't see them. You're like, I'm gonna go on a blind date. You can,
I wouldn't do it, but if people want to do it, ride
yeah.
home.
Okay. I think if you start dating somebody, you go on dates with somebody, you should start seeing their character. And I feel like you can infer and
Like the
foreshadow.
first date, if he's being reckless and like and rude to the waiter, that
That's
could be some
no,
foreshadowing.
that shouldn't be if you shouldn't date him. I think it's more so you start getting into a relationship, you start seeing like trauma, issues,
that they're not willing to work on.
what they're not willing to work on, bad habits. But ultimately, I think more times than not, a good boyfriend makes a good husband. A good husband makes a good dad. Same vice versa. A good girlfriend makes a good wife. A good wife makes a good mother. I feel like it all goes hand in hand. I think it's whenever you ignore red flags is when you get in a bad spot. Because my coach always says, "It's how you do anything is how you do everything." But I think that like everything like leads to the next thing. So I think it's more so the signs at the moment like they're gonna magnify the next phase. And not to say everybody's you got stuff you're gonna have to work on, but it's the willingness to work on things to me is the difference.
For sure.
All right, wrap it up with this is to new moms or new parents, like what's your biggest advice?
I feel like we already hit on this a little bit, but just bringing them along for your life. And I don't know, I feel like setting a precedent before, is that the right word?
Yeah, good word.
Cool. Precedent before you have kids with your friends of just like, yeah, like wherever I go, she's gonna come. Like that's just like how it's gonna be. Yay. And if your friends are good friends, they'll understand that. And if they're anything like our friends have just been amazing and they just know like, is Beckham coming? And now at this point, if I say no, they're like, why aren't you bringing her?
Yeah, be a good friend too, because you kind of feel a little insecure as a parent.
Oh, 100%.
Because you're like, dang, are y'all gonna like leave me out of all the
I
hangs?
don't anymore, but at first I felt very insecure about like when we would go on trips. I'm like, oh, sorry, we have a lot of stuff. Oh, sorry, we can't go to dinner at that time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we're gonna have to do this.
And obviously we also are aware that like there are some things we, you know what I'm saying, we gotta put the kid down. Okay.
That's another thing too. Like we're not gonna inconvenience anybody else. Like if we know that she's in bed at 7, me and Darian are staying at home and we're like, please go and have dinner. Like, does it make us a little sad? Like, sure. But it's okay. And we're not forcing anybody else onto our schedule. But yeah, I would just say bring them along for everything. And lately I feel like I'm relearning this of sometimes it's going to stress you out to do things and bring them along, but do it anyway because you'll be so happy to have the memories and just decide you're not going to be stressed. Like going to the pumpkin patch, was that the easiest, like most fun thing I've ever done? Not necessarily. But even now, looking back a month later, I'm like, I'm so happy we did that.
Thankful for the memories.
And I don't look back and think about how stressed I was. I look back and I'm like, I think about Beckham having so much fun sitting on the pumpkins.
Yeah. You realize
just do things. That's my advice. Just do things.
You literally can do anything. Nothing will top the fact that we took her on a 10-hour plane ride to Hawaii.
Bro.
And we were like, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we did it. And we came back in one piece. We had the best memories and it was great.
No, looking back, I'm like, yeah, in the moment, was it so hard? Yeah. But looking back, I'm like,
it's also fun.
I would do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. And it just builds like, you can do anything. My piece of advice.
I cannot believe we did that.
My piece of advice to people, dads or whatever, I think to me, the biggest thing I've learned is like, if you take care of yourself, you have the capacity to take care of your family.
That is everything.
From like I mean, I guess it's for both parts, but definitely as the dad and leader, man, household, like it should be like God, me, then my family. Like that should be the flow and order. Like when those things are aligned, I feel everything falls into place. When those things get out of whack, that's when I think things get out of whack. because it's amazing how like making some small hard decisions like okay I'm gonna have a routine like we're gonna wake up and we're gonna go work out we're gonna handle our work and then it's amazing how like you're able to actually be present in the moment with your wife your especially your kids but then when those things are out of whack you just have so many things running in your mind because you're like not taking care of yourself that you can't even like really enjoy the blessing right in front of you. That's another thing too. One of the biggest warnings I feel like God gave me like continuously throughout is any blessing that you don't take care of can become a burden. Which is so crazy because you pray for a marriage, you pray for a kids, you pray for start making money, start getting, career success, but like all those things are good until you don't take care of them. And I think that's where like if you take care of yourself, if you take care of those things, like they're able to flourish. But when they're not, like it just becomes this daunting task. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta take my kids to this. I gotta get my kids up, man.
And it doesn't mean it's a burden. Honestly, this is a good bow because that goes into like how negative people are. It's like, well, it's because you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you took care of yourself, it wouldn't feel like, oh, kids are ruining my life because they're blessings, they're not burdens. But because you're not taking care of yourself, your blessing is turning into a burden.
Right. And not say like you downplay it because I've learned more from trial and error than I have from like succeeding in this. It's like the reason I'm learning this is I've like woke up many days and be like, bro, you are not, you know what I'm saying? You're not enjoying the gift that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you didn't take care of yourself, because you maybe woke up late, like you didn't make time to go work out. All the things that make me feel like I'm on point. And then you go into your life and like everything that you prayed for, you're like taking for granted.
I hate ending a day and feeling like I felt that way or I was not being a present mom.
Intentional.
Yes, because of me being stressed and overthinking and whatever else. Like it looks different for you and I, but I hate those days, and I wish I would just take care of myself initially because it all works out in the end once you do that.
No, it does. Well, like I said, kids do not ruin your life. I don't think there's also the myth of I don't think having kids too early. I think life is literally what you make it. Obviously, I do think you should have a vision for like the life you want. But then, like we said, like I feel like our story's been one of I feel like you follow God, like you can have the plan, but God knows what's really like gonna make your heart feel like together. I don't know, or complete. Because I think like I said, we had such a plan of like, and for the most part, we did do our plan. Like we got married, we did want to have kids, but I think some of the timing of everything wasn't how we envisioned it, but it was. It feels perfect. I feel like God knew exactly what we really wanted deep down. Like I think it just feels right, like to be in this place. And so, like I said, I would tell people, man, like, parent is what you make it. It ain't. It's not. It's really neither good or bad. Like it's kind of a blank slate. Like you make parenting good, and you make having kids a blessing. You make whatever. We'll get into this next time. I think I want to talk about just like how we've maintained our marriage. But this is enough for this episode. And to anybody young out there that like wants to have a family one day, like everything you're doing while you're dating, like
matters.
You're building like the foundation for the type of mom and dad you're gonna be, the type of like husband wife team you're gonna be. Like it really all is kind of stepping stones. Like, and so we need more families out there. I don't know, this is kind of a
healthy families.
I mean, like for real, like the world rises and falls on healthy families. Like the best thing you can do for the world to me is produce a good citizen. Like like everybody everybody you come in contact with, the best people in your life you come in contact with, they were raised either by their parents or somebody that like poured into them. The worst people in your life, somebody raised that person. So I'm just saying, like, look, aspire to be one day a good dad and a good mom because it is the best thing you can do for the world.
Yeah, if you want to be, not everyone wants to be parents, which is fine.
Oh yeah.
Only if that's a desire in your heart.
Yeah, if you have a desire in your heart.
This is only for this message is only if you want
kids. I'm saying like everybody around you was birthed by something.
Or if you want to adopt.
Or if you want
whatever.
Adopt too. For sure. Shout out to adoption.
We need people to adopt. Hey little love.
Talking to the microphone? Okay. Say hi. Say my name is Becca Rencher.
Yeah. What's your name?
What's your name? What's your name?
Good job. Bad job.
How you feel about mommy and daddy? You love mommy?
Yeah.
You love daddy?
Yeah.
What else do you love?
Who are you thankful for?
Dada.
Okay.
Really?
Are you on down? Okay, good.
Wait, do you want to go with mommy? You want to sit with mommy?
Snacks?
You want snacks, baby? Well, you guys heard the girl.
You want up? Come here. All right. Well,
What do you want to eat? Snacks. What kind of snack? You want to go pick one out?
Yeah.
All right, we can do that together.
all right. Well, that's it. Like
Thank
I
y'all
said,
for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Snack time.
Yeah. Like I said, hopefully the goal of all these is hopefully you can
Bye.
take bye. Hopefully you can take something away from it and it can help you on your way. Thank you for tuning in. Love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for support. We'll see y'all another time. Another episode.